So finally, Rescie-ACE is an actual competent deck in Master Duel. Well, sort of. Of course, we are still waiting for some of the more important supporting cards such as Emergency, but we did just get the next best thing. Diabellstar. This card is essentially given this archetype its first actual one-card combo that leads to its full board setup. We no longer need to play the garbage consistency boosting cards such as Map or whatever this thing was. You know, if your archetype has to play these cards in order to be consistent, it was pretty down bad for some support. So now that we've actually gotten some, let's check it out. So here's today's deck list. Now just a reminder before I get into the deck list, if you guys are enjoying today's video and want to see more content just like this in the future, especially if you're a returning viewer, so apparently about 35% of you watching this are even subscribed to the channel, meaning 65% of you haven't even subscribed yet. So if you guys are enjoying this kind of content, want to see some more deck lists from me in the future, more videos from me in the future, remember to click that like button down below and consider subscribing to the channel. Alright, let's jump into this deck list. Alright, so what exactly is new in Rescie-ACE? Well, we've just been given the brand new Diabellstar package, which is all built around Diabellstar the Black Witch. This thing can be special summoned from your hand by sending one card from your hand or the field to the graveyard, and when it is summoned, it can search your deck list and set one Sinful, Spoil, Spell and Trap card directly from the deck. Which is of course going to be your original Sinful Spoils, Snake Eye. This thing can send one other face-up card you control to the graveyard to special summon one level 1 fire monster from your hand or your deck, which is of course going to be your level 1 Rescie-ACE Hydrant. This thing of course when it's on the field you can activate to search for one of your Rescie-ACE monsters from your deck, which is fantastic because we haven't used our normal summon yet. So this thing's on the field, we can search for a copy of your Airlifter. Airlifter, when you normal summon it, can then search for one of your spell cards from your deck, which will be a copy of your Alert, and because we still have the Hydrant on the field, Alert can search our deck list for a copy of Turbulence. These two cards can become a link monster, put all the stuff in the graveyard, and all of a sudden you special summon this thing to the field, set your full back row, and you're basically ready to go, all from a one card combo. And the last new card in the deck list is of course going to be your wanted Seeker of the Sinful Spoils. This thing can add one of your Diabellstar monsters from your deck or graveyard to your hand, of course searching for your Diabellstar the Black Witch, and additionally, this thing you can banish this card from your graveyard, then target one of your Sinful, Spoil, Spell and Trap cards that is banished or in the graveyard, put them on the bottom of the deck list, then draw one card, which is fantastic because although this card has to discard a card to special summon itself, if you search for it using your wanted, you're then going to be able to just draw a card anyway, so you don't really even lose any value for going for this combo, making it a natural one card combo. Even if it does discard, you're going to be drawing a card anyway. As for the rest of the deck list, it's just your stock standard Rescie-ACE stuff with nothing else particularly new with it, so without further ado, let's check out some gameplay showcasing this new combo in action. Alright, so before we get into the actual replays, I thought I'd give you guys a brief example showcasing the brand new one card combo with the deck list, using all the brand new cards, just for you guys that don't quite understand how the cards work yet or you haven't seen them before. I just thought I'd give you guys a brief example against the dual practice partner first. Alright, so first thing you're going to do is activate your wanted Seeker of the Sinful Spoils. Alright, summoning your Diabellstar, searching for your Diabellstar. Alright, then you're going to special summon this thing to the field, normally discarding a fire monster, and we'll explain why in just a second. Alright, summoning your Diabellstar. Obviously, by the way, if you just hard opened your Diabellstar, you can do the exact same combo, you just won't get the extra draw effect from your wanted, which you'll see a bit later on as well. Alright, activating this card's effect, giving you a search, grabbing your original Sinful Spoils, placing it on the field, which we can then flip face up, to tribute your monster on the field, to then search for a level 1 fire monster, in this case being your Rescie-ACE Hydrant. Alright, using the Hydrant's effect, because we haven't actually used our normal summon yet, grabbing a copy of your Lifter, who can simply be summoned, to then search for a spell card, which will normally be your Alert. Just pretend we already have one in hand, just for combo's sake, and just pretend we don't already have this in hand, searching for our Alert. And then, because we have the Hydrant on the field, activate Alert, which will search our deck list to grab a copy of your Turbulence. And there it is. Alright, from here you can make either an IP Masquerena, or you can go for more of a Promethean line, a Promethean Princess line, and summon out a copy of your Sunlight Wolf, because you just need to summon out a Link monster here. So it can be any Link monster, but for the sake of the rest of this combo, I'm going to summon out your Sunlight Wolf. And then we can summon out this Turbulence directly below it, by banishing 2 cards from the graveyard, normally keeping the Hydrant in the graveyard and trying to keep a fire monster in the graveyard too, because if you do so, by putting it below the Sunlight Wolf, we can actually add back that fire monster from the graveyard to our hand. Which means this 1 card combo actually didn't even discard a card, we just added it back later on. Alright, then we can activate your Turbulence, setting normally 4 cards to the field, but we have the alert in hand, but normally it would set 4 cards here. Alright. And we'll just set this alert to pretend that it was in our deck list, and normally sets 4 cards, and then we can summon out our Promethean Princess. Alright. Then we can use our Promethean Princess's effect to summon out a copy of any of your monsters from the graveyard, doesn't matter which, because we're going to go for our Link 4 with it anyway. Summoning out your big Link 4, which is of course going to be your gigantic Amphibious Swarmship Whale. And that is basically your end field. You've ended on, of course, the 2 trap cards for your Negate and Destroy. We've ended on your Rescue and your Alert, one of which can revive back your Hydrant from the graveyard, so all of your cards get their bonus effects. And of course, we get the search from the deck list with the other spell card, which can search for cards like your Attacker, for example. And if they're chained together, you can actually summon the Attacker to the field to then have an extra draw 2, discard 1 during your opponent's turn. And if your opponent ever special summons a monster to the field, you can trigger Promethean Princess, popping this card, popping one of your opponent's cards, summoning back the princess, and of course triggering this card to search for or revive your Salamangreat Sunlight Wolf. So that's basically your end field, and you've also got an additional draw thanks to having used the spell card at the start of your turn. So we can banish this spell card, shuffle back this spell card, and potentially hit extra hand traps or something. Didn't hit anyone in this case, but can potentially draw into more extenders or more hand traps or something. And yeah, that's basically your end field, so without further ado, let's check it out in some actual gameplay. Alright, so this first replay isn't going to be anything too exciting, just wanted to show off a very stock standard replay showing the stock standard end field, and just, yeah, not too much went on in this replay. The other 2 are going to show off a whole lot more back and forth sort of stuff. Alright, so discarding a card to summon out my Black Witch. Black Witch going to be grabbing my Sinful Spoils, tributing off, summoning out your Hydrant, Hydrant using its effect, grabbing your Airlifter, Lifter, searching, grabbing Alerts, Hydrant on field so Alert can search from deck list, grabbing our Turbulence, these 2 cards becoming my Link 2, and then because I'm a complete and utter dumbass, I forgot to summon below it, and yeah. I noticed I do this a lot actually, I forget to summon below the card. I actually don't know why I forget that, but that's a -1 card I could have added back to my hand. But anyway, setting my 4 from my deck list. These 2 cards become your Promethean Princess, Revive from Graveyard, and that is going to be a Link 4. I actually love this combo too. The Promethean Princess into the Swarmship is such a cool little combo. They interact just so well with each other. Alright, during my opponent's standby phase, I'm going to trigger the Alert and chain the Rescue. Make sure you do it in this particular order, otherwise the combo won't work. And this is so that we can revive the Hydrant, get the bonus effect, to then search from my deck list, which will grab us the Fire Attacker, which can summon itself to the field because we summoned a monster. And then if our opponent ever adds a card to hand, we can draw 2, discard 1, which I think we do right now actually. Yeah, drawing 2, discarding a card. Alright, potentially hitting some more hand traps or something there. He summons out his Cerberus. I actually have no idea what I'm meant to destroy in this case, so I'm just going to destroy that card immediately, using the Promethean Princess. Whale can revive back. Normally it's a good idea to summon back the Sunlight Wolf in front of the extra monster zones, so if your opponent summons anything to those zones, you can add back a card from your graveyard. Alright, so into the void for draw a card. I'm actually going to use my Droll and Lockbird here. I probably just should have used this earlier actually, now that I think about it. And yeah, from getting Drolled, he can't really do a whole lot else. I think he steals my Princess here. I don't think he realizes this card has a lock to it where you can only special summon fire monsters, so yeah, you can't even do anything right now. And he locks himself and he loses, so yeah, not the greatest replay that one, but the next two are definitely going to showcase a lot more back and forth sort of gameplay. Alright, on to replay number 2. This one was against a super heavy samurai player, and it was actually a nice little back and forth replay, so I think you guys will enjoy this one. Alright. So in a decent hand here, we've got two ways to get a hold of our Hydrant. We're going to opt for the Diabellstar first. Activating the effect, searching for our wanted, because of course we already had this card in our hand. Using the effect to tribute our monster. Unfortunately, our opponent has an Ash Blossom here, which is pretty bad, but not the end of the world. Because thankfully, we can use all for one, or 1-for-1, discarding to summon to the field. And because we haven't used our normal summon yet, we can grab our Turbulence. Actually, I think I should have searched for my Airlifter here, because I don't think I used my normal summon yet. So I could have just normal summoned there. Either way. Yeah, slight mess up here, but it's fine. We'll still end on an end field. Got enough cards on our graveyard to banish. Summoning our Turbulence. It was actually real bad, actually, because we didn't get to keep Hydrant in the graveyard. But anyway. Grabbing our 4 cards from the deck list. Alright, because we got Ash Blossomed, and this is actually a cool little combo that you'll see quite often. Because we got Ash Blossomed, we can actually summon out our Fire Charmer to revive the Ash Blossom. These 2 cards can then become the Promethean Princess. And now we can still end on at least a sort of standard end field compared to the last one. Just without being able to summon back the Hydrant during our opponent's turn, because I'm a dumbass and didn't search for the lifter. I'm pretty sure I didn't use my normal summon this turn, so just a bit of a misplay there, but anyway. Alright, instead we're going to be summoning back the Turbulence instead. Alright. So our opponent's going to activate his Super Heavy Samurai, searching for his 1-card combo. I'm not sure what I'm actually meant to pop and destroy in this. So I'm just going to pop this card. I don't play against this deck list enough. Normally when I see it, I just don't even bother. But we're going to be popping the card. Reviving our Link 2. He's in our search for a copy of his Soul Pierce. Revives this card. Then he tries to use this to equip to this, which is trying to special summon something from the deck list, I believe. So I decided to pop it beforehand. It does give him a search, but he was going to get that search anyway, so I thought might as well just use it now. Popping his card on the field. Alright, I think if I actually didn't misplay earlier and had the Hydra on the field, you get the bonus effect this trap card, which would stop the effect of that card as well. Your opponent can activate the effects of that destroy monster. Yeah, I could have actually stopped the effect of it as well, so yeah, the Hydrant being on the field actually matters quite a lot, because the bonus effects are really strong. I think the other one negates and then stops it being used as material for just summoning out Links or Synchros or something as well, so it can't be used for Fusion Link or Synchros, but anyway. Opponent's going to go battle phase, swing into my monster, triggers my whale. He then uses a negate, which is great. We've now used up the Baron's negate. Alright. He's going to use the once per turn to destroy the card on the field. I decide I should probably keep that thing around. Not sure if that was the correct thing to do. We don't exactly need this thing, but whatever. Activating this card's effect, searching for our Witch for the following turn. He's going to summon out a Scarecrow, then use the discard to then grab the Soul Pierce. Equipping to then summon a card from the deck list. And I think he goes for... Actually makes it level 12 Synchro, I think, because he summons level 2, makes the level 8. Makes a copy of Excel, summons back. And yeah, then makes a copy of the level 12 Synchro, summoning out fucking this dude, of all things. The big boy. His finisher rank is number 5 right now. People are finishing games with this dude. Alright. Activating this card's effect, grabbing some cards. I'm actually not going to use any of these spell and trap cards. I'm just going to send one to the graveyard to summon Diabellstar, because I think this thing has some effect where if you use a spell and trap card, he draws 3 cards or something. So I'm like, yeah, I'm just not going to use any spell and trap cards at the moment. Don't really want this guy drawing 3 cards. And if you're wondering by the way, while this turn was a little bit scuffed, it's because I had like 30 seconds left on the clock and I was panicking out my ass. So I was like, first thing I thought of, just summon an access code talker. Surely I can't go wrong with that. So just summon everything, make an access code talker. I think I even miss a draw effect here, because I think I destroyed this thing, then don't bother to use the free draw I have in the graveyard. But anyway, so banishing 2 cards, activating this thing's effect to defend itself. Nothing left, clearing the field. And yeah, I don't even draw a card here like I should have done. Yeah, there's probably some sort of lethal there or something, but I had like 30 seconds left on the clock, so what does it matter? Surely our opponent wasn't going to draw a 1-card combo and just absolutely one-shot me. Surely. Alright, adding back the Turbulence, adding back the Diabellstar. And now we're just set for the rest of the game. There was definitely a lethal here, but again, I was just like, I'm just going to set up a field, because there's no way my opponent's going to beat me if I set up just a decent field. So it negates my access code. Yeah, I'm just going to summon my Diabellstar, grab my dude. Hydrant going to be shuffling it, also my HQ shuffling everything back in, so then I can use my Turbulence again. Just summoning a very standard sort of end field like the one you just saw earlier, but now we're doing it on turn 5. Alright, there's the Sunlight Wolf. Summon out the Turbulence. That was definitely some sort of lethal here, but yeah, whatever. Can even just revived one of these cards, right? But whatever, we just hit our opponent in the face. Actually, we couldn't have, because we didn't have the Hydrant on the field, but anyway. My opponent's not playing through this end field, that's all that matters, so the game's already won. Alright, and on to our final replay. Alright, so I saved this replay because it was a bit of a fun one. I think we're against the new archetype, the new Snake Eye archetype that's actually playing just pure Snake Eye. And yeah, this was a very fun replay. This was basically, we just both hand-trapped ourselves into oblivion, and then we're just sort of top-decking stuff, and it was kind of interesting, so. Alright, Pot of Prosperity, going to be sending our stuff to the graveyard, looking at the top of our deck. I saw some people aren't playing Pot of Prosperity. I don't know why you wouldn't in this deck list, since you're so heavily reliant on grabbing that, trying to get hold of that Hydrant on turn 1. But anyway, discarding our card to summon out our Black Witch. We grabbed a Droll and Lockbird from that, which is a little bit greedy, but hopefully should be fine. Activating our spoils, tripping our card. Unfortunately, I think when we tried to use our Hydrant, our opponent had impermanence for that, so yeah, now we're a little bit screwed, but at least we have a shit ton of hand traps. And something you haven't seen yet is actually we have a spell card here in the graveyard, which we can use during our opponent's next turn to search for a Hydrant from our deck list, because this thing can banish itself to search for a level 1 fire monster from our deck list. Yeah, you can banish this card from your graveyard and target one Snake Eye or Diabellstar monster in the graveyard, which we had one, to add a level 1 fire monster from your deck to your hand. So, our opponent's going to Cool by a Grave the Maxx, but of course we've got a Droll and Lockbird and an Ash Blossom as well. So he's going to use this card's effect, searching for the spell card. We're going to Droll and Lockbird, of course. 63% usage rate right now, actually. He has a crossout for that as well. This guy opened everything. Imperm, crossout, Ash Blossom. This guy has everything. Sorry, I actually don't think he had Ash Blossom, I'm stupid. Anyway, Ash Blossoming his spell card here. 0 cards left and only 2 cards left now. But you can still use the Popular to put itself in the extra monster in the back row. Has a field spell, which grabs some card over here, this Birch thing. Alright, grabs the 1-for-1. I'm now going to use this card to banish itself to potentially search a card from the deck. He has an Ash Blossom for that as well, so that's the Ash Blossom that I was talking about. Look at that graveyard. Ash Blossom, crossout, Cool by, and a fucking Imperm. Oh my god. Alright, so he's waiting for me to do a special summon or something, because that would trigger the field spell to bring this thing to the field. Alright, unfortunately didn't draw into a monster, because if we draw into a monster we can get out our Hydrant and go for our full combo. So just looking for our Hydrant, hoping our opponent doesn't top deck in the meantime. Alright, Rescue will do it, because Rescue will give us a monster. Gives us the Hydrant. His special summon then triggers the field spell to summon this thing to the field. Unfortunately, has another Imperm. But it's fine, because our opponent actually has a fire monster in the graveyard this time. He's going to trigger this. Thankfully, we have Cold Buy. This Cold Buy could be really useful during one of the other hand traps our opponent used. Although I guess he only actually technically used Ash Blossom in terms of hand traps. He just had a bunch of tech cards. Alright, putting that back in the graveyard here. We're going to summon our Charmer, doing that same play you saw in the previous duel where we can steal our opponent's Ash Blossom. Make our Promethean. Promethean going to be summoning back. Hitting our opponent in the face for a little bit of damage. Before going for, of course, the Whale. And passing over. And I think our opponent decided, yeah, he's had enough. Alright, so that's going to do it for today's replays. Hope you guys enjoyed them. If you do, remember to like, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. And yeah, hope to see you guys in the next video. Laters.
Hey, big brother, can I watch SpongeBob?
Shut up, Mokuba. I'm busy flagging YouTube videos to compensate for the fact that I have an extremely small penis.
Oh.